call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Compost?
Here.
Commissioner Gandy?
Here.
Mayor Trujillo?
Here.
Commissioner Sanchez?
Here.
Commissioner Butcher?
Here. This evening, Commissioner Campos leads pledge and prayer.
Join me in prayer, please. Father, we just come before you tonight, and we want to thank you, Lord, for all the blessings you provide for us. We thank you, Lord, for hearing our prayers, most of all, and for taking care of this community and allowing us to serve this community and all its needs. We ask you, Lord, that you be with all of us, Lord, and our families, especially during this time of the year where we all gather and people are traveling and we're just enjoying each other's company as family and as friends. We ask that you be with us, Lord, that you guide us, Lord, that you allow us to be where you want us to be, Lord. Let it be your will and not ours, for the betterment of our community. And we ask this in your precious Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Make that a three-part.
Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
I have motion second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have another motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted from November 25th, 2019.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I have motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Moving on to staff reports. White?
Mayor and Commissioners, one update, New Mexico DOT working on Avenue D. They're progressing in two sections, or blocks at a time, progressing down, and then they're gonna reverse and go back. So it's not our project, it's New Mexico DOT's project, but the city is working with them on, letting them store some of their construction material and everything out on 17th, so that is, but they are cleaning up the lot out there at the same time, and some extra material that's left over, they're gonna be leaving out there for us for the use of the city. That's all that I have, sir.
That's a quick question. What's the projected completion date? Any idea?
I believe it was 120 days, so I believe mid-July is, I know the contract was 120 days, and I know they pushed it back at first, but it was 2 weeks and then another 2 weeks, so, but I believe it's middle of June, July.
I was just curious. Thank you.
Doing a good job. It's like they're doing good traffic control.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions about the board? Gary?
Your Mayor and Commission, I'm sure you're aware that we have our exit interview with our auditors this Thursday at 4 o'clock. And one of the positives is that everything's going well. We should meet our submission deadline with the state.
Any questions about the board?
Are we expecting any, talk to us about findings, Gary, not specifically, but the total compared to last year, let's say. Are we reducing the findings, as far as you can tell?
I didn't look at last year's, but I want to say we're down to like 6 findings this year.
Do you remember how many we had last year?
That's the comparison. I don't
6 as
remember.
well? Okay. All right, thank you.
No other questions? Brittany?
Nothing to report at this time, Mayor and Commissioners.
Shannon? Commissioner?
Well, one thing, this is going to be our last meeting for this year. So I'd just like to thank all of the ones that have made this year a good year for all of us, our city staff, our city manager, our commissioners, our legal counsel. We just want to thank each one of them for their efforts and and hope that next year you'll have an even greater time together and just move on ahead with what God has put in place for each one of us. Just know that we are praying for all of you every day, just wishing the best for all of you. And so my desire is that you would have a very happy Christmas and a good New Year, God willing. Amen.
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 That's all I gotta say. Commissioner Cummings?
I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas with your families, your loved ones, your friends, and your neighbors as well. And a Happy New Year.
Mr. Ginn?
Hey, why, I have a simple math question. You're saying July, that's like 180 days, so 120?
Like 160.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
It's an
average.
average. Okay, all right.
He's
all right.
used to the way government moves slow.
I was struggling with the math, so sorry. Other than that, I'm very Christmas.
You're used to cooking
We all
time,
knew
not
it.
months.
Oh, okay, okay.
Chief?
Just to give you a heads up, Saturday, we're gonna do our first, Shopping with the Cop campaign. The officers have, organized the event, and they have donated from their own pockets as well as other people in the community. We're able to supply 11 kids, so Saturday, if you see a bunch of us out and about, that's what's going on, just to give you a heads up.
Great. The pancake, is it this week?
I'll let him do that, that's,
Okay.
we're assisting them, but it's their project.
But I knew you were gonna eat all the pancakes on
I won't have one, sir.
I won't have one either.
One dozen.
Chief?
So we're doing a pancake breakfast this weekend on Saturday. I believe it starts at 8 o'clock. And what we're doing it for is for the Food Coalition here in town. A lot of the department has got together and put this together along with PD. But come by and have pancakes, meet firefighters, police officers, and enjoy some pancakes
Where at, Chief?
at the fire station at the Bay Area.
Thank you, Chief. James?
The only thing I have is this Saturday, we have the Wreaths Across America Wreath Lane ceremony. I don't remember the time that is, but I will definitely get that out to you.
I think
Be
it's
out
10,
at-
10.
Is it at 10 o'clock? I
I think it's 10, yes, sir.
was trying to find that. I didn't write that down. One more place to check. It is at 10 o'clock. So out here at Lovington ceremony, so, or cemetery,
Ceremony at the cemetery.
yes.
I got you.
Council?
Mr. Mayor, we have nothing except that we would like to reciprocate with a Merry Christmas to you guys.
Thank you. Moving on, public comment? Everybody good? All right. All right, moving on to non-action items, James?
Mayor and Commissioners, if you recall, several weeks ago, you gave staff direction through resolution to begin negotiations on a new contract with Waste Management for residential and commercial service. We do have a draft agreement which is attached to your agenda packet this evening. Dan Darnell, who is the government sector liaison, he apologizes for not being here. He called me first thing this morning, and he's under the weather, so I encouraged him to stay at home and not spread it. So, but some of the highlights from this draft agreement is they have expanded the definition of a dwelling unit to exclude recreational vehicles. So recreational vehicles would only be eligible for commercial service. As well as the term of the agreement would only be for 5 years. As we have previously discussed, there is a provision for one automatic 5-year renewal if both parties agree. As far as temporary roll-off containers, the previous contract that's been in place for over 20 years, Waste Management had the exclusive right for residential, commercial, and even temporary roll-offs. So temporary roll-offs are no longer part of the exclusive agreement. It is residential and commercial customers, but if you're doing a demolition project, you are free to use any other person who is licensed to do that. So we have one local company that actually can provide those temporary roll-off services to us. They have changed the time of pickups. Residential collections, they'll start at 6:30 in the morning and end at 8 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays it's still 6:30 to 5. They do specify in the agreement that containers, to make sure that you do have pickup, they have to be in place by 6 a.m. the day of the pickup. Commercial collections, of course, those are really down in the downtown area. And businesses, those will be from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 4 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays. Billing will still be a responsibility of the city, but we actually have in the contract now that monthly reconciliation of billing will, our staff will work with Waste Management to make sure that our billing is spot on, that every account is being accounted for. That is just a monthly contractual obligation that we have. Also, the biggest change will be the customer service aspect. Waste Management is taking over customer service 100%. So this way, it basically, to put it simply, it cuts out the middle person. Right now, when somebody calls City Hall with a complaint for trash service, we log it and then we contact the customer service center. And some things can be lost in translation. That has happened before. If somebody just calls in and says, hey, my container's always been on the east side of my house, if they live at a corner, for instance, and we just report a missed pickup at the address and forget the geographical location of that container. So to set up accounts, they'll still come here. There will be an information card where we collect that information and it's submitted to Waste Management. But if you do have a service question, complaint, concern, you're actually given the direct line to their customer service center. In addition to that, there will be an enhanced portion on the website to where you can actually enter into a live chat. I don't know if you've ever had that experience. You often get faster results through a live chat than you will instead of being placed in limbo or on hold with any call center. In addition, there will be more social media content for Waste Management. There will actually be a direct link to them on our website for a customized Lovington website. We're also working on them. If you hadn't ever or haven't checked in the past couple of months, we have incorporated an interactive map feature, not only for zoning but also for Waste Management collections. They're going to incorporate features like that, as well as make the website a little more handicap accessible to comply with ADA requirements. In addition to that, right now, whenever we do rate adjustments as far as what the city actually has to pay to Waste Management, that's just done using the overall CPI. In order to be more accurate and to capture what it actually costs, they're going to use, it's in the contract now, to specifically use the solid waste, water and sewer CPI adjustment. That way it's a little bit more accurate and also eliminates fuel adjustments and surcharges, because that's actually included in there. The other, of course, city facilities will continue to have the regular service and disposal at no charge. One thing, if you recall, we had the Christmas tree roll-offs placed down at the Lovington Square Shopping Center. That's going away. If you had never noticed, that thing fills up just like that, and it's not Christmas trees. The previous contract that we had specified that they supply those 2 roll-offs to us for Christmas tree disposal, but when it's out there, there's no way for us to regulate it. So instead of it being a Christmas tree disposal, we're gaining 2 extra free pulls at our convenience center to where we can regulate what actually goes into those containers. So for those that don't know, it is free to residential customers every day that it's open. We're not actually losing anything from that. Also, during the fourth year of the agreement, Waste Management will actually pay for a third-party customer service satisfaction survey, in which we will get the access to the results and make room for improvement. As far as collection rates, after 20 years, it's only going up roughly $1 for what we pay. Right now, residential, if I recall correctly, one residential polycart The cost is actually $17 per month, it's going up to $18. So after 20 years, we're only looking at a 5% increase. At this time, it does not believe that that cost will have to be passed along to the consumer. The other portion of your trash bill, that goes to help fund that solid waste center, so we don't have to charge residential consumers. But I would stand for any questions that the commission may have.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the bill, is that cost center number gonna be on that bill by chance, on monthly bill for the residents?
It can be, and more than likely will be.
Okay, I was just.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
What's the length of the contract again?
5 years with
5 years.
one option to renew automatically for an additional 5.
Any other questions by the board?
So, this will be presented to you at the January 13th meeting for final adoption. We'll have more of the rollout procedures for the new customer service aspect for commission to look at, to where we can actually go online with everything by February 1st.
Thank you. Moving on to action items, we'll have a motion.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. Ordinance 570, authorizing the execution of a project participation agreement providing funding to Lovington EDC Corporation, or EDC, Facet and Infrastructure Improvement Grant Program within Zone E.
Second.
A motion second, James.
Mayor, Commissioners, this may look very familiar because you have previously approved it. What happened was during the transition of some staff, the advertisement was never sent to our local newspaper. So after consulting with Patrick, the easiest and cleanest thing to do is to just re-advertise the ordinance, which we did supply a copy of the legal notice that was published in the newspaper, and just re-vote on this particular ordinance, which is the facade improvement program for Zone E. There has been no expenditure of funds yet. There haven't been any grants awarded as well. So this is just the easiest, cleanest, and most transparent way to deal with this clerical mistake.
Did we just forget to send it off, James?
We had, yes, sir, I think that's the easiest explanation
All
for
right.
it.
Fair enough.
Any other questions by the board? Have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Have a motion.
Make a motion, we consider ordinance 571, authorizing the project participation agreement providing funding to the Lovington Economic Development Corporation for economic assistance for a market analysis, planning, recruitment, and development program.
Seconded.
Motion second, James.
Mayor, Commissioners, this ordinance, the same thing happened, where the legal notice wasn't advertised. This is for the retail recruitment. This engages Lovington EDC for one more year with their program with Retail Strategies. It's $30,000 investment out of our economic development funds. This has been published as required, just requires your vote. And once again, no funds have been expended to date for this.
Any questions by the board? No, sir. Have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to, before we make a motion, I'd like to ask the city manager a question. Just regarding the numerical order of the ordinances, James, it jumps from 570, 571, and then to 574. Is there a reason for that?
We have two other ordinances that will be brought, excuse me, that will be brought to the commission. It would be 572 and 573 will be brought in January. It was just the order that they were placed on the previous agenda for adoption.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to consider ordinance 574, an ordinance of the city of Lovington, New Mexico, amending Title 10, Chapter 10.04, Uniform Traffic Code, adopting the 2019 amendments by reference and amending penalty assessments.
Second.
Have a motion second. James.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is something that we do annually. The ordinance has been advertised. Legal notice is attached as published. What this does is adopts the 2019 updates that the state legislature has enacted in reference to the Uniform Traffic Code. In summary, it's an additional offense for DWI with a minor in the vehicle. They have changes to punishments for unlawful use of license or driving while suspended or revoked. It does add language involving administrative suspensions, also designated disabled parking spaces. That language has been added, and then also includes language to allow electronic insurance documents being acceptable as proof of insurance. The penalty assessments have been added for expired vehicle registration as well as driving with an administratively suspended driver's license.
Any questions about the board?
I just have for the chief, what's considered a minor on DWI in a vehicle?
DWI?
Yeah.
Anything under 18.
So, no difference between a minor or an infant, let's say, or a juvenile?
No.
There's no variance there? All right. Thank you, Chief.
Any other questions?
I need to clarify. I'm looking at the actual update, and it says, as used in this section, minor means an individual is younger than 13 years of age. As used in this particular section while driving while intoxicated. It's a minor in the vehicle.
Good to go. Okay, there's no further questions. Got a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for ordinance 575, annexation of private owned parcel of land located between the 1400 and 1500 block of North Main and the assigned zoning as Zone E, economic to the eastern half of the parcel, and assigned Zone B, multifamily to the western half of the parcel.
Second. Motion second. Jamie?
Mayor and Commissioners, this is the tract of land that they requested the annexation of and zoning assignment. This is the Lovington Trails apartment. Here is North Main Street, and then you have the termination of First Street down here. They're requesting that that eastern half be Zone E for hotel and retail space development, and then Zone B would be for multifamily in the plan. Speaking with the purchaser and developer, is actually for single-family dwellings to be developed there. This has been advertised and just requires your vote.
Any questions about the board? There's no further questions. Have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have a motion?
The motion we consider resolution 2019-138, making appointments to the Lovington Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
Have a motion second. James?
Mayor and Commissioners, Joel Gomez's term will expire on December 31st of this year. I have dry mouth, I'm sorry. He has indicated his desire to continue his service. The resolution actually provides for the reappointment of Mr. Gomez or appointment of someone else in his place for a 2-year term, which will terminate on June 30th of 2021.
You'd like to revise your motion to include Joel Gomez, Commissioner Sanchez?
I'd like to make a motion to include Joe Gomez.
I'll second that.
And motion second.
Just quick. Does he be consistent in his appearances?
Yes, sir, he has.
Very good.
Got a motion second. Any other questions? The motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we consider resolution 2019-139, appointments to the Lovington Senior Citizens Board.
Second that.
Have a motion second, James?
Mayor Commissioners, the terms of Elisha Bixby, Wilma Kimball, and Virginia Spears will expire on December 31st. They have all indicated their desire to continue their service. However, we do have Mrs. Sharon Grigsby, who has expressed interest in serving. So the resolution we presented tonight does allow for the reappointment of those 3 expiring terms to those individuals, or to replace them with who the commission seems fit. This would be for a 4-year term, with their terms expiring on December 31st, 2023.
Commissioner Sanchez, would you like to revise it?
Yes, I would like to, I thought that we
Look at
could
the, can I,
consider,
I'm sorry, Commissioner, one more. Can you tell us about the attendance of the 3 that are in place now, as far as you know, James?
As far as I know, they are all very active.
Okay, fair enough, thank you. Sorry, Commissioner.
okay, we'll go back to what we were. Okay, we'd like to, this resolution 219-139 for the senior citizen board, the other lady that wanted to run, do we need to consider her
Yeah, can
or
either,
not?
there's three positions open, and she is.
But the 3 said they wanted to run, but this other one is another one, she wants to run too,
Yes,
that's.
sir.
And the 3 that are currently,
So can we appoint her also?
we
No.
Or
can,
we just the 3, right?
we can, but that's why I asked if the 3 that are in place now have been attending, and James said that they have.
Yes.
So that was my question. So if they've been attending, in my viewpoint, I think I can vote to keep them in. That was the only question I had.
So my motion was to reappoint those members.
It can be, whatever you want it to be, Commissioner.
Well, those are the 3 that we have already, so I agree with that. We appoint those 3.
So you're saying to reappoint Bixby,
Yes.
Kimball, and Ms. Spears, to reappoint them on, for the
Senior citizen.
senior citizen, yes. So,
Did you get that, James?
Yes.
Did you get that, Shep? Okay.
And I will second that.
Okay.
All right, so we had a motion and second. Is there any further discussion? So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2019-140, appointment to the Lovington Extraterritorial Zoning Commission, and reappoint Steve Carr, Betty Price, and Julia Myers.
Second it.
Have a motion and second. James?
Mayor Commissioners, those 3 terms expire at the end of this month. This is only a 1-year appointment that we do annually, and they all have good attendance. They've been at every meeting and desire to continue serving.
Any other discussion? Have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2019 141, appointment to the Lovington Library Board.
Second.
Wait. To reappoint Michelle Williams and Sharon Williams.
Second.
James?
Mayor Commissioners, just for full disclosure, Michelle Williams is my wife.
Sorry.
I am not sorry for that. Wow.
That's terrible.
For the record,
I'm going to strike 4.
That's a good point right there.
She is a good wife, right?
She's watching.
Good answer, though, James.
that's the right one.
Spot there quick. Okay, we have, any other discussion on that? Have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to consider resolution 2019-142, the Open Meetings Act compliance.
Second that.
James?
Mayor Commissioners, this is an annual resolution that we adopt per state code. There's not been any changes to the code. This just specifies how much notice that we give to the public for what certain types of meetings, as well as where we publish them. and that all of our meetings are open to the public unless we invoke our closed session, which is very specific, is found in Section 1H of the Open Meetings Act.
Any discussion by the board? Okay. Had motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we consider accounts payable.
Second.
Gary?
Your mayor and commission, I'm available for any questions if you have any. I will point out, though, that our single largest payment was to Glasgow Construction for the fire station, the $509,000 on the first page. But if you have any other questions, please let me know.
Glad you mentioned that. What, how are we doing there? I forgot about that. Oh, how are we doing?
They're
I'm
still,
sorry, I apologize.
they're still in,
I think you were gonna do that final walkthrough, did you guys do a walkthrough?
not yet. We've done our final punch list, and getting that turned in over to them, so
Oh, okay.
That should be-
Thank you.
yes, sir.
Chief, I take the white suits are yours.
It's just, yes, it's one.
The last goes to the fire department.
Yes, sir.
I said that on the basis.
Yeah, well, you got one for tourism department for $11,832.
Yeah, the New Mexico Tourism Department payment, that's something that apparently we pay every year, correct? If I may turn it over to the city manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, if you recall, we received a New Mexico True Tourism Grant that helps promote and advertise what we have to offer as well as our different events. So this was a cooperative agreement. This was our portion of the grant match, which was funded through lodger's tax.
James, on that, this kind of another subject, on the traffic survey with economic development, does that go through the board as well, or, I know that it went through EDC board, but does that still go through us as approval?
We approved that by resolution.
Okay, by resolution, okay. Thank you.
SIRSIDYNIX.
I knew somebody would ask that one. That's why I asked Debbie at the library. That's the purchase of a mobile app, a Siri mobile app for the library.
Gary, the Norley payment, 18,000.
That's 2 months' worth of payments for the wellness center.
Okay. Are we not paying that monthly, or how are we paying it?
The last time they sent us an invoice, they sent us 2 months' worth. They were slow at sending us the invoice.
Okay.
Mr. Sanchez, you still
We got a lot of them.
Should only be a page and a half worth of,
Yeah, they
Payments.
printed you out too many.
We'll have it when you get in bold press, but.
Okay, pay the bill.
There's no other further discussion. We had motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do I have a final motion?
Make a motion